it's RK here, and I'm coming to you with a very exciting video. After 6 years of playing my trusty Bagheera amplifier, I have finally upgraded to the Koch Amplification Twintone II. I found this amp on a web. Well, first let's give a little bit of background of my history with Koch amplifiers. I'm not sponsored by any of the companies I'm mentioning in the video, by the way. I have bought them with my hard-earned money. My wallet is still aching from the last purchase, so that's that. Back before COVID, when we did loads of gigs and all of that kind of stuff, I rehearsed at Metropole Studios in Enschede. Now, this place pretty much only had Koch amplifiers to use in the rehearsal spaces. And me being pretentious little, let's bring my entire rig of doom to the studio, thought, you know, I'm not going to bother bringing my amp, so I played through Koch amplifiers in those rehearsal spaces, and I really loved the sound I was getting from the Koch amplifiers, more so than the sound that I was getting from my own amp. So then, you know, the fantasy kind of started, you know, wouldn't it be cool to have this amplifier in my rig, you know, and I thought, and then looked them up and saw they were pretty damn expensive. So it was purely by chance that I stumbled upon this amplifier on the website of the Fellowship of Acoustics, which is one of the best music stores in Holland. If you are ever in the neighborhood, really do check them out because they've got great stuff. The staff is very friendly, very knowledgeable about the products they sell. They're not like the people that are going to say, are you going to buy anything, you know, after 15 minutes of chilling there. They're completely fine with that. As long as you're having fun, as long as you're geeking out on gear, they're going to have you, and they're great. So check them out. So it was purely by accident that I found this amplifier in the second-hand section. I was just browsing through amps, you know, as you do. It's kind of the guitarist's equivalent of watching porn, I think. So I was looking through their amps and I saw this Koch amplifier for only €490. And I was like, oh my God, that's like half the price of a new one. So I was immediately a little interested. So I went there with just the thought of, okay, let's just try things out. Let's keep an open mind. So I tried loads of amplifiers. I tried some PRS amplifiers, not the Archon ones, but the Sonzera ones. Great amps too. I tried some Milkman stuff, you know, the little compact pedal, the amp, I think it's called, very fittingly. But I just immediately gravitated towards that little thing. And as soon as I played it, I just loved the response it gave me. So I was hooked from the start, from the first note. There were a few things I was a bit iffy about. I didn't really like the speaker that was in there. So the old Celestion that was in my Bagheera, the Creamback 75, is now residing in that cabinet. So the sound is just phenomenal. So how do I use this amp in my rig? Well, I'm a pedalboard player. I like being a pedalboard player because it gives me an edge on guitarists who are relying on their overdrive sounds from their amplifier. If their amp goes bad or they don't have the luxury to bring their amp, they're at the mercy of whatever backline amp they have. And if you are heavily reliant on the overdrive sound from your own amplifier, that can be a problem if you're confronted with having to use an amplifier you've never used before. Now with a pedal board, the only thing I really need in an amp is a good clean channel, you know. So I am kind of free in that sense, because every guitar sound I control from this pedal board. So let's actually stop talking and just play through some sounds. So I am not going to be demoing all of the channels of this amplifier because that's not how I would use this amp. Although I have to say the overdrive channel and the overdrive plus channel, which is really nice, are really great channels, and they are great for studio use. So I'll probably use some of these channels for double tracking guitars. So one side of your ear will have my pedalboard distortion or whatever, and the other side could have the amplifier distortion. You know, in those kind of settings, this amp is going to be killer. I just prefer the use of my pedals because that's what I know and that's what I really love. So I'm going to be using this amp the same way as I would when gigging or doing my own stuff in the studio. So all of the gain tones you'll hear are going to come from my pedal board and only from my pedal board. So let's get to it. I'm gonna play some. I'm gonna go up in gain stages. So first things you'll hear are some clean sounds. After that you'll hear some medium crunch tones, and after that we'll just go more crazy as the gain goes up. So without further ado, this is the clean channel bone dry. Well, from the sound of the guitar you can figure out what pickup settings I'm on. Just remember, I never use position 3, so that's one little bit of guesswork removed for you guys. So here goes. Okay, so those were the clean tones. Just a quick side note. I really like the fact that I can now get the treble definition. So just a little bit of background on how I used to run my Bagheera. I've got a 2-layer pedal board. And underneath the first are a few EQ pedals to fix the issues I had with my old amp in order for my overdrives to sound okay. So the Bagheera had this really nasty upper mid-range peak that I just couldn't get rid of without, getting rid of the nice bits of harmonic distortion you get from overdrive pedals. So that was a bit of a bummer. So now with this amp, I am only using an EQ pedal for a solo boost. So I don't have to do any more corrective EQing to my guitar signal. I just dial in a sound on the amp that I like, and after that you get to the pedals, and that's all I need. So now I don't have to set the clean channel of the amp as dark as I would have had to do with the Bagheera. So I have finally gotten that high-end definition from the in-between positions that I really like, the things like this. And I'm not gonna play any more of that riff because I will get copyright issues, and I don't feel like getting copyright issues today. It's not on my agenda. So those were the clean sounds. Now let's hop over to the first overdrive sound you guys will hear, which is the TC Electronic Dark Matter. Now that sounds like a real metal kind of distortion, but I've got it set in a semi-breakup kind of way. although it's leaning more onto the edge of crunch, but it's slight breakup. It's my most dynamic overdrive sound I've got. So here we go. So that's that kind of sound, which is really nice for some more Jeff Beck lead kind of moments, So I'm nowhere near as good as Jeff Beck. I'll probably never be as good as Jeff Beck, but my take on one of his songs, I really love the lead sound I get on this. For those kind of things, that sound is perfect. And if you add a clon type pedal, so I'm using the J-Rock Adagio for that kind of thing, you get this really nice, edgier sort of sound. So now in a rhythm context, that would sound a little something like this. I really like that rhythm tone I get from Precision 2, which is my middle single coil and my, I think, inner coil of the humbucker. So I am splitting the humbucker in that pickup configuration, which sounds really nice. It's got this kind of stratty quack, but it's a really thick stratty quack. So non-guitar players will have the weirdest time trying to figure out what all these adjectives mean, but anyway. So I really like that pedal, especially what it does with this amp. Before I had the new amp, it was a real pain getting that sound to sound right, and now it finally sounds the way I have always intended it to sound. So that's nice. Now for the main fun pedal, my main crunch, like heavy riffing kind of tone, is the JHS Angry Charlie. We've all come across it at some point. Andy Timmons and that pedal show have turned me onto this lovely JCM 800 in a box. I've got it set fairly low gain wise. It's like barely touching 1 o'clock. So it's still pretty dynamic. So with the volume on full and on the bridge position, I am still able to maintain a pretty dynamic sound, like the following. So that's the rhythm gain, and now for the next few gain stages, I have both rhythm and lead sets. So what you just heard is the Angry Charlie alone. Now I'm going to go to the lead version. So this is like this is the lead sound I would use when I'm playing things like AC/DC or medium gain solos. So what I'm adding to the Angry Charlie is my lovely TC Electronic Flashback 2 on a Binson Echo Rec custom-made tone print. And I'm using an EQ pedal to shave away a little bit of bottom end, shave away a little bit of top end, boost the volume a bit, add a bit of 1.6K just to make the guitar stand out a little more, So that's what this sounds like. So I'm going to play the crunch first. So that was the crunch. Now I'm going to go to the lead equivalent of that tone. So that's that, which is lovely. And now for the high gain stuff, there are two permutations of that sound. So the first one would be the Angry Charlie combined with the Archer running into the Angry Charlie, that is, which is really great for like higher gain riffing, like. For that kind of thing. But when I play a solo that needs to be really screaming, I really like my TS-808 on there, which is the Ibanez Overdrive Pro TS-808. So it's Ibanez's replica of their original pedal, which sounds a little something like this in a lead contest. Just to play a little excerpt of that solo, a cover of which will be released very soon on the YouTube channel, so keep your eyes out for that one. So those are the different ways I am using my rig. Now I can also use the Klon Archer in the Archer pedal in a lead context, which I would do for a little bit more of a fusion-y kind of lead playing, which needs to be a little more angular, meaning the notes won't be as long and sustained, but will still need a nice bit of meat to them. So I would go for something like. For those kind of things, I really do enjoy that pedal combination. So yeah, that's basically the sounds I'm getting. Oh wait, I forgot one thing, and this is truly the most addictive pedal I own, which is my trusty Neo Ventilator 2, which I got for free off of Lawrence Jones, of all people. I used to follow that guy when he was still touring like tiny blues clubs and stuff. He was great even back then when he was like, I don't know, he was barely 18 the first time I saw him play. So that's really cool to having him to see him grow like that, which I really love. I love that guitarist. But before a gig, I was allowed to go backstage to witness the sound check, and his 12-volt power supply was giving him a few issues. And I had done a gig the day before that, so I had a 12-volt power supply in the boot of the car. So we said, well, you could use ours, you know, so no problem. So he plugs the thing in, smoke starts coming out, so the entire pedal is completely fried. And he said, well, the insurance is gonna, you know, fix all of that. I'm gonna let you keep the old pedal as, you know, for the sake of, you know, for as a keepsake. So thank you, you know, didn't think anything of it. And then a few months later, my dad decided to try and clean the thing up, you know, so replace a few components and stuff. And then he messaged me during I think it was a math class or something. And he was like, I fixed it, it works. So I couldn't concentrate on formulas and all of that kind of stuff for the rest of the day. But now I've got a really nice sounding pedal, which sounds a little like this. So, that brings us to the end of the video. If you like what you saw, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this video with your friends if you think somebody's going to benefit from me talking for 20 minutes straight. And also, I am a Spotify artist. You can check out my music on Spotify. I am Roger K on Spotify. You can check out my latest single, I Don't Care, which is a really cool bluesy kind of rock live band feel kind of thingy, which is really cool. Check that out. You can check out my Fiverr page if you want me to play guitar on your next project. I would love to get in touch with you. If you have any questions regarding my guitar rig, feel free to drop a comment. I'll try and reply to it as quickly as I can. And until then, remember, it's all about the song. Goodbye.